Joe,
Yeah,
what would be your enterprise excellence 2 minute tip in this area of Agile Kata?
I do think that probably it would be around the cultural change we just talked about, right? The challenge is for teams that are possibly already trained, let's say, in a process like Scrum, and they are possibly building products, let's say IT or not. Let's say they're using Scrum for that. Now we teach them what self-management, what self-organization is. We teach them how empowered they are. We teach them Scrum values. We teach them all of those things, like how they group and rally together as a team. And then they're operating in an organization. In Scrum, teams have every 2 weeks an opportunity to reflect, for example, in a retrospective. Obviously, they could do that more often if they want, but every 2 weeks, they have this reminder, it's like it's time to reflect on our process. And some of those things they talk about in these so-called retrospectives and say like, hey, what could we change? What could we improve? Some of those things are things that need to change within the organization and where they have little control over. They say like, we just wish XYZ would be different so that we could be more productive. Now, if they're seeing that they're raising these issues and they're very open and transparent in doing that, which we should all applaud, right? But if they're seeing that the rest of the organization is not following through on those, that is a huge trust issue between the teams and the rest of the organization, right? So it's like we're teaching, we're telling them, they're reading books about Scrum, and it's like this is how a real Scrum is, and then they're looking at the organizations. They're like, I can't really change these things in my company. Well, just Scrum on the team level, not on an organizational level. And I think that's the cultural change I would invite everybody to try. So my tip would be start a kata, try it. Go to agilekata.org, take a look at the white paper. It's not very deep and thorough, but that's the idea. It should stimulate. I'm also can share a link for an Agile Kata walkthrough. It's just being explained on a video style. Think about it, see how you can implement that. Take an agile coach you might have in your organization or bring one in to guide you through an agile kata. See how it feels and possibly take an item from a team's retrospective. I'm sure there are some improvement ideas you can collect from the teams. And then basically just take one of those and says, I'm going to run a kata using that improvement idea that comes from a team and actually see if I can make progress on that in my organization. Now, if that happens, there will be smiling faces on the teams, and they will be like, we just raised an impediment, we raised an issue, a challenge within our organization, and leadership and business took care of it using something called an agile kata. Now we have created a journey between the different kind of departments, and I think trust emerges as a result of that.